Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of the Producer Lounge podcast. This podcast is all about bringing more insight to some of the dope producers that I know I get to call my friends, but we get to get some more insight about them and their process and who they are. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, what we do here at the Producers Lounge is, cast that spotlight, like I said, on really dope producers. And today is no different. I'm excited to be able to have this brother in the building. We've had the opportunity to be able to collab on some records in the past. Definitely one of my favorite producers out here in the Richmond area. And no further ado, I mean, let me just say his name. My man, my bro, Ill Maestro, is in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big bro called me, told me to pull up. I had to. So,
absolutely.
Whenever Brand asks you to pull up, I'm always pull up.
So, hey man, I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, so.
And he told me that this is his very first interview.
Very first. I had never been interviewed on anything before, so this is the first. So when you see me, this is the very first platform I've ever been on. So this is really dope. So I really appreciate the call.
Hey man, you already know what time it is. Again, man, you have been creating amazing music throughout your career. You have definitely been navigating the scene, creating and producing for a lot of our favorite, local MCs, as well as MCs that are like, you're the guy I would say that I know, like, yo, he be getting them placements. He be getting them placements.
Yeah, man.
And I'm proud of you. Let me just say that. Super proud of you. Hella proud of you. But let's just start, at the beginning, because again, I want people to get an understanding of who you are. So who are you?
So, real name, go by Ill Maestro, Robert Harper. I started producing, I want to say in 2009 and 2010. The funny thing is, how I started was I used to bang on the desk all the time. I was able to emulate every beat, every record that ever came on, all the hit songs and stuff. People ask me, yo, do that beat you know how to do on the desk. And I'll never forget one of my guys, one of my homies I went to high school with, Link. He go by D-Rock Shows. And he said, yo, you need to start making beats, man. You fire with it. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. That's lame. I thought it was lame. You know what I'm saying? So I still was banging on the desk, and I played drums. Let me go back. I'm actually a musician. I play the drums. I've been in the church all my life. My grandmother, she was a musician. She played the organ, and she introduced me to playing the drums because she would always call me up there to play when she played. Back in church and tent revivals.
Shout out to grandma.
Yeah, shout out to grandma. You know what I'm saying? So I've been playing in the church all my life, Pentecostal, Kojic, and whatnot. And actually how I got on to what really got me into it, right? And producing is I was at a rehearsal one night, and this is after one of my homies told me I should start making beats. And it was after a rehearsal, and one of my homies was giving me a ride home. So what we would do, we'll usually shut the sound off close to church, right? He had FL7 on the computer in the back.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, I heard of Fruity Loops. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what this is all about, right? So I kid you not. He said, yeah, FL, I usually like, I play around on it. I play around the FL a little bit. You should try it out. So I was like, you play drums and everything. I think you know how to make beats and stuff.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. So as he was shutting everything down, locking everything up in the church, I was on FL7 and I was instantly hooked. I made one of the worst beats of all time. You know, at FL, when you were starter, you had that starter kit, and you had the packs, and you had that legacy pack. Oh my God, yeah, I had the legacy pack, but that was my real introduction into production. 2000, I believe 2009, my senior year of high school, and then after that, I just ran with it.
Yeah.
I ran with it.
Nah, that's all right. Cause see, I think, I think with me, it was like once I got introduced, I tell people all the time, I got introduced via hip hop EJ. People don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
It's an old ass, DAW.
Yeah.
But it was like just enough to kind of like set the hook for me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so I can understand,
Man.
like, yo, once you get that, that engagement with FL. And see, when I started, I don't even think FL was out, when I started. But it's like I can understand, like, yo, you get that first taste, and you're like, oh dang, this is what it is.
Yeah, man. That's
This is how they do it.
That's exactly what it was like. I was like, I made the beat. I was trying to make it sound like a Plies type of beat. This one he had Shaw. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I was still playing sports too. I was into football, but I was just like, man, screw. I knew football wasn't gonna work out. So I would go and I'll let teammates, yo, I made this beat. You know what I'm saying? Yo, check me out. What you think?
Right.
And bro, they was rocking with it.
Right,
Say, yo, this ain't hard, bro.
Right.
Like you may find something. You know what I'm saying?
If y'all don't know anything about Ill Maestro's music, and he said he was a drummer, but that's his thing. Like, yo, the drums that's where he sets himself apart, and it's like knowing that you had the background as a drummer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How much does that influence, you as a producer?
Greatly influenced, right? Because at the end of the day, right, you're a drummer, you're around other musicians also. That's the biggest takeaway, right?
Right.
And you understand not only your part as a drummer, but you understand everybody else's part and how their part, how everything works together. Right. So I listen to other parts, you know what I'm saying, while I do what I do on the drums. So being around dope, and you're around a lot of dope musicians too. Those some guys that can tear the piano up. I had the opportunity to be around some of the dopest musicians out here. The OJs of the world, the Lawrence Taylors, the Tony Wilfords. I had the
dropping them names.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to be around Greg Mitchell. He's one of the craziest drummers that he's like the Goku of drumming out here. Like he's like out here on another level. But I had the opportunity to be around so much great musicians where it really influenced me as a producer. But in terms of drumming, like when you have your drums right, the drums is always going to be the foundation of the record. You know what I'm saying? You can have the best melody, but the drums is really going to take it to the next level. Right. I get melodies, people, yo, can you add some drums to it? That's the thing. So yeah, that greatly great influence. So
I mean, and you have a hell of an ear. I know, like I said, we work together on, and I've watched you work. I enjoy watching other producers working within the studio and kind of peep how they approach it.
Right.
So explain, for folks who might not be as familiar with like the production process. Explain your process. How do you approach a beat? Like when you're like you use Fruity Loops, and so you open up the DAW. Like how do you approach it?
Well, usually back then to now was much different than now. Back then I would just try to make the whole beat on the spot. Right. I would do the melody first, then the drums, and then blase blah.
So you're a melody first guy.
I was heavily a melody first guy.
Okay, me too.
So heavy melody first. To now, It really, honestly, when I cook up now, it's really depends on how I feel.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, I ain't feeling this type of. I ain't got this feel today. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll start with the drums, or I will work out a bunch of skeleton ideas, and I come back to it. Right. That's how I work more. I work out of that mode more than ever. Like earlier today, like before I came here, I worked on a few skeleton ideas. Right. When I go back home, I'm gonna go finish up those skeleton ideas. Or I may send it out to my bro AYB. Shout out to AYB, man. He make a sound producer, man. He from out here. But I may send it to him, or I may send it to my big bro Lee Major. Yo, Lee, could you add some more?
Shout out to Lee Major. I gotta get him over here too, man.
Lee Major is the GOAT. One thing about him, he's the GOAT, the most underrated GOAT out here. I don't care what anybody says. Like in my eyes, like that's my mentor. But we gonna get to that more.
For sure.
But my process is like, let me start out. I may start with a melody first, right? I gotten back into sample chopping now.
Okay.
I chop samples out more than ever. Boy. Like I use maybe I start out like with Serato Studio, the 2.0. The stem separator is a game changer.
Did you get because you could get the Serato just a sample now, a standalone, because that's what I use. I actually downloaded the Serato Studio just for the stems, but then once they updated Serato sample to have the stems in that, now I went right back to Logic.
This is just the plugin.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just had the plugin because I still operate that within FL.
Within FL. So okay, cool,
I love. Once I kind of understood that plugin, I was like, oh yeah, this is a rap. I was like, yeah, this is a. So I was able to come up with a new workflow also, right? So I cause chopping is so fun, you never know what you're gonna get out of chopping.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You could think, oh, I'm gonna chop this and it's gonna sound this way, and then you end up pushing a wrong key or something. Like, no, that's super fine.
Way better.
That's way better. That's what I love about chopping. So I that's my workflow. I tend to skeleton out. I try to figure out what I'm gonna do with it or something like that, or based off if I listen to if maybe I'm feeling like doing like a West Side Gun type records, or maybe to Cash Cobain type of record. I've been listening to him heavy like crazy. I don't know why, but it really depends how I'm feeling. Honestly, now more than ever, it really depends how I'm feeling. So.
Right? No, man. Look, I feel you, cause see, I'm a skeleton dude too. Like, it's more so like, cause I don't make beats every day. You know what I'm saying? So when I do sit down, I got kids, I got a day job, so it's like, when I sit down and make a beat, I'm a push out like 8-10 beats in a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not finished beats, but they're gonna be skeletons. And then so it's like, all right, boom, I create those skeletons, and then it's like when I come back to them, it might be a couple days when I might come back to them joints and listen to them. If I still rock with them, because that's what I, it's like, that's like the initial test for me. It's like, all right, like, after I slept on it, you know what I'm saying? You wake up, because when I was making beats every day, it used to be like, all right, made a beat today. Let me see how I feel about it in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now it's like a couple days in between. But it's like, like that workflow, because I feel you. It's like, all right, boom, I got my workflow. I'm big on workflow. So it's like, all right, my workflow is, let me just, create this beat. And then once I feel like I got it, I got a hook, I got a verse piece, then it's like, all right, boom, next joint.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I would say sometimes in some cases I may work on a record that I like initially. And then once it come together, I say, I don't like this no more.
I don't like it.
And then I open it back up maybe a day or two later. I said, no, this joint fire. Then I end up finishing it.
Right. But see, so I feel like that's a necessary, part to the process. It's almost a part of the workflow. It's like, you know what I mean? Like when you baking bread or something like that, and you got to let the dough rest so it dries.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, boom, now we ready to take it the rest of the way, but you got to let that joint rest.
Yes.
All like that soup, that gumbo that tastes better the day after.
Right. I'm with you.
You're like, I gotta let that joint sit, let those flavors marinate, let your ears rest. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
so I feel
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's almost like a dead ass part of like the process. And I wonder how many other producers like really, utilize that time away to kind of come back and be like, oh yeah, this shit is fire.
Yeah, now it really depends on the situation also. Number one, they're all producers. Every producer have their own workflow.
Right.
So my workflow may not be your workflow. You know what I'm saying? So, but you make sure you come up with a workflow that works for you. Number one. Number two is like I said, it depends on the situation. Whether it's setting, I may be in Miami at Circle House and cook up something. I'm gonna just like get it done right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So
because you like, let's speak on that because I know you definitely, you work with Hitmaker and you work in those, those production scenarios, so to speak, to
right.
where it is a high volume output and
Right,
you're trying to
right.
get things done, get ideas
Yeah,
done, land
facts.
placements.
Absolutely.
Like, talk about those, like, I guess, producer camps that you have it.
Okay, so I've been working with Hit since 2019. I started working with him through Chris Scholar, which is my
Shout out to C Scholar.
my brother from another mother, man. He
Shout
helped
out.
made that possible. So working with him is like usually I like to call him Berg Belichick because one thing about him is that he knows what he's looking for in a record.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? From a whole record perspective, right? Vocals, beat, song placement, like those things play a big part in making a fire record. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes he will text me a melody or an idea, and we go back and forth. You know, we did that like last week. Like last week, he texted me back an idea that we sent initially. Yo, could you change the drums up? Could you take the vocal out? Oh no, just keep that vocal in, just like that right there. So usually, usually we'll go back and forth through text, or if I'm in Miami, I will send him a pack of beats or something like that. Text him a pack of beats, and they'll just go through them, and they was like, "Yo, he'll pick whichever one he like, and then they'll just start recording." Or if there's something that he like and he want to change, yo, he'll hit me up. He'll hit me. He's like, "Yo, change this part. Let's put this part in the pre-chorus, right?" And maybe add a bridge or something like that. So it's more so a back and forth type of thing with him. So so the camps be mad cool. I had the opportunity to really learn from some of the best in the game. I remember like just recently, I was able to see how I was able to look at Murder Beats, how he works in person. He was in Circle House, and I just stood back and watched his workflow and how he's a certified hit maker. So I was just like, so what is his process? Just going into the beats, did he just create and then boom? Because one thing Murder is really known for is his drums, and not his unique drum sounds he used, but how much it slaps. His drums slaps. So usually,
They do.
Yeah, they slap. And but I would say from my perspective, me and Hit may hit me with with an idea back and forth. I'll give you another example, and I'll be quick with this. When we did the Tink, it was a Tink record we did called FMB on her Heat of the Moment album. Shout out to Tink.
Shout out to Tink.
And I remember I was on my way back from Philly with Gallo.
Okay.
Every time we go to Philly, he always hit me for some reason. I don't know why. So initially, I send the record to Berg. Yo, Maestro, like he was on live and I was on live. He said, Maestro, send me a song where folk can get busy to. That ain't what he said, that's exactly that's what he said. I need something folk can get busy to. So I was like, all right. So I already had a beat in mind for May 13th.
Okay.
In that pack. So long story short, they recorded to it. Goldie did the background vocals for it. Shout out to Goldie, fire songwriter also. But on my way back from Philly, we was in the car. He texted me. He said, "I think we could add an outro to this." And I texted him back. I said, "Yeah, I think so too." So when I got back at the house, I was just playing around with the record,
Mm-hmm.
and I came up with this fire chord progression. Like it was a chord. I don't know exactly what chords I played. If you look back on my story, it's in the highlights of that outro. But I played that, and then I sent it to him. He said, "All right, cool. Move that. Okay, so shorten that up. Move that sooner so we can have that for the chorus, for the final chorus, right? And the outro will just come in after the chorus type thing. So once we go back and forth, I send it back, and that's how FMB was made. So that was rolling.
So it's like when you're in these situations, like you're around, like you said, Murder Beats. You're in the room with other producers, also trying to get their record heard or placed or whatever.
Right.
What is the pressure like in those situations?
For me personally, I just go in there and be me.
Right.
At the end of the day, I know I'm here for a reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got here for a reason. I'm good at what I do. So it's no pressure. It's just for me personally, I just try to go and learn and take as much. I was I remember, I think we was in Phoenix in 2023. No, 2022. My mistake. It was another camp out there. I think it was myself, OG Parker, Mike Woods, and T Romano. OG Parker, but that was my first time meeting OG Parker. Myself and YB was out there too.
Okay.
It was my first time being around OG Parker. I was just learning. It was no pressure of trying to, well, I got to try to hang with them and whatnot. I mean, I'm just like I said, I'm just in here. I'm gonna just do me, continue to be me. But at the same time, I'm going to learn from those guys. So it's really no pressure for me personally.
Good.
Because I'm here.
Right. I'm here.
You know what I'm saying?
Period.
So it's just go ahead and do you and show out. So
right. Yeah. And I asked that question because, I know one that there's like a lot of producers, including myself, who've never really been in those types of environments.
Yeah.
So I just, from somebody who's been in those types of spaces and just, give it, the insight there for the people who are watching, producers who are watching, like, so they can understand, like, hey, yo, the best thing you could do is just go in there, be yourself.
Be yourself. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. The only difference, they create music just like you do. The only difference is they made a lot more money. The only difference is they made more money than me in it,
Right.
and they probably know a lot more executives,
Right.
But I'm like I said, I go in there and just do me, you know what I'm saying? And I stick to what I do best.
Right.
Don't try to change up what you do. Just because you get around, it's still the same thing. Make the main thing the main thing. You know what I'm saying? So like, just do you at the end of the day. And that's in any situation. Don't ever change up your identity as a producer just because you're around other songwriters or other producers that are more successful than you.
Right.
Right. That should light a fire on you to just keep going. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take. So.
Right. I dig that. So I guess throughout your journey of like, your production journey, like who would you say are some of your influences that inspire who you are?
I would say when I first started producing, I would say it was the 2009. It was number one was for sure Drummer Boy.
Okay.
Drummer Boy, a legendary Memphis producer. He was residing in Atlanta. He was on a legendary run at the time too. You got to understand, like around the time he was my influence. He was produced that I put on. He did Shawty, my Plies, I Get Plenty Money. What else he did? He did the Money to Blow, Get It.
Yep.
He was on a tear at that time. Like every record, No Hands.
Yep.
He was on a tear. We just talk about the mainstream stuff. He was doing a lot of mixtape, OJ the Juice Man, Gucci Mane. Like, so he was really one of my main influencers. Lex Luger, where he was really just coming out. I remember he was ruling the charts.
Shout out to Lex.
Shout out to Lex. VA on who else? I had Who else? Rodney Jerkins, Dark Child.
Oh yeah.
Rodney Jerkins, Dark
Thank
Child.
you for saying their names.
Yes,
Man.
I love Dark Child, Rodney Jerkins. And the thing is, what's so dope about him, right? On his Instagram now, he goes back at how he produced the records back in the day. And I just be like, my goodness.
This is one of the things that I love about social media and just this age and era that we're in. It reminds me of like, because I watch a lot of sports interviews.
Yes.
Because now, the people who we watched growing up playing sports, just like you kind of get the behind the scenes stories of their careers that you never would have gotten back in the mid 90s. So it's the same for our producers. You know what I'm saying? It's like now they have the platforms to be able to kind of give you that insight behind these records, these amazing records that they created, and it's like, dang, this is how you did this, or this is what it was like working with Michael Jackson, or this is
or what I didn't know he made this record. Those feelings. I instantly lose it when he made
those, and it's like you get to have those types of moments now, and that's why even with the producers lounge, is like I want to be able to like showcase us as producers in these moments that we're in right now.
Yes.
And it's like, because I'm every time I see, like you said, like a Rodney Jerkins, or just any producer who was creating the sounds of our childhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like, dang, like I get to understand and get more in depth behind the scenes and get to learn from them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like you sit down and you listen to their music, and that's really that was like our lesson. It's like, you got to sit down and listen to the song.
Yeah.
Listen to how they, formatted it. Listen to how they, decided to, do the bass line here, or do the drums here, or do the bridge, whatever. Like you get to sit back and that was all you had to learn from. But nowadays, now you get to hear them actually break it down.
Yeah,
this is how it came about. Like even with Jermaine Dupri and some of the stuff that he was talking about him. You'd be like, God dang, word, bro. Like this is what it was like for you creating some of this music.
That era was so different too. Y'all understand that too. Everything wasn't as digital.
It wasn't.
How albums are sold was different.
Right.
But I do have one more influencer too before I get into that. And I want to bring him up because I got another story from is also Lee Major.
Let's show. Let's talk about Lee.
So let's talk about Lee, man. So I when around the time I started producing, I would say one of the biggest regrets I had was not utilizing Twitter. Twitter at that time was one of the most powerful tools in social media at the time if you wanted to get your music out there, if you wanted to start working with other creators. And I actually, one of the things I was able to connect back with Lee. Now, my grandma would tell me, yo, Lee rich. Lee rich. Like, Lee rich now. You want to talk to him now. Because me and Lee, the funny thing about it is me and Lee used to play at the same church back in the day, at the Hosanna days. He played the organ, I played the drums. So him and Ray, shout out to Big Ray, my big bro Ray. We would play at this church off Hosanna, right off JD, and called back up with Lee. And at the time, I looked up Lee in his catalog, right? Now, I've always heard that, he's from VA, a producer from VA, produced the Vacation record.
Petersburg.
So I was like, I wonder who that is, right? So I look up Lee. I said, bruh produced all of this?
Bruh.
I lost it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna even lie. I lost it when I looked up his catalog. So
right.
He produced a lot of records, like
insane amount
of records. Like he did that. I remember he was working with a lot with Ace Hood. He was working with Rick Ross a lot, especially when he did the what's that? It wasn't it was before Free. When he did before Freemason. It was an album before. I cannot believe I don't remember that. It was the second one when he had when he did the Usual Suspects. It's
I'm
gonna come
terrible
back.
with song names, so
I know.
I can't even
I
provide
remember
you any
because I used to
assistance.
listen to that album all the time. I didn't know half the songs he did. He did half of those songs, and I remember he did "Real as It Gets,"
Mhm.
and he did. I think he did a record with Monica. I mean, his catalog is crazy. My
Insane.
goodness.
So let me I guess give you my Lee Major story, right? So
Please.
when we moved back to the States from Germany, we
Fire.
stopped in Petersburg. That was our
Fire.
first stop. So my dad was at Fort Lee. We lived on South Plains Drive.
Yeah.
We lived maybe 8 doors down from Lee.
Oh, so you knew Miss Elliott?
Oh yeah, Miss
Yes,
Elliott.
Miss Elliott.
Miss
I love her
Elliott.
so much. She was a musician too.
Vic.
Yes,
You know
Vic.
what I'm saying?
Vic
So,
was.
yeah,
everybody was a musician
so
there.
it was all like we would we played together. Like we played together. Like that was like, and it was funny because Vic played the bass.
Yes, he played drums too.
And the drums. And Vic, Lee, he would always have to like go in the house for piano lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So, but so now mind you, it's like, you know, that was that, right? And
that's
then
crazy.
We ended up moving to Chesterfield. And then it's like, you know, of course, you know, me and Mike, we in the music, you know what I'm saying? And then we kind of found out in a roundabout ass way, you know, that Lee had turned into this mega producer.
Mega.
And we were just like, Lil Lee?
Lee, man. I was just like, bruh.
Lee? And so, bro, like it blew my mind. And it's like we were able to reconnect.
Man.
Probably a few years back. And just kind of like trip out over the fact of like, yo, dang, bro, South Plains Drive, we was all, you know, we all were there. We all are in the music. And it's like, we never thought about it in that particular way because we were just kids.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
But it's like, it's weird how, you know, we all just kind of ended up, you know, in the music space and just kind of like, you know, doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, shout out to Lee.
Shout out to Lee, man.
I definitely want to get him in here just to
I'm a text. I'm a hit his line right
yeah,
after.
Man.
Like Lee. I would say this. Lee really taught me the game. Like he taught me the game from a early in the early stages of my career, producing career. I remember I set up some beats. Yo, I said, I have some beats for you, man. You can send the Cali and all that. I was excited.
Right.
I never forget this day, and I always love this story. I remember after I sent him the beats, this is early. So I wasn't as good as I was. So he sent me a whole list of things. Yo, you gotta work on your sound. You need to get better sounds, better drum sounds. Do you get your mixing right?
Yep.
He sent me a whole list of things to work on. I took that and I worked on them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was, he legit, like, I credit him to why I have so much knowledge in the music business, Raul.
Shout out to Lee. Man.
So like that's, I always call her, that's my mentor. I really like, I can honestly say that's my mentor because he really taught me the game. So
shout out to Lee.
I got to give him his flowers, man.
Oh man, so. and that's the thing. Like he deserves plenty of flowers because I don't even think his name gets mentioned enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think, you know, as for the type of work that he puts in, the type of like, because, you know, they always talk about Virginia producers, and hands down, Virginia has the best producers.
Say that again. Say that again, because it was a whole argument on it. Everybody was from Chicago, like, Virginia.
Nah, stop it. Virginia has the best and most diverse sound of all states.
Of all states.
Period.
Yes.
Period. I stamp that.
Shoot, Chicago and New York.
This ain't even biased. This is not even a bias of feeling or approach.
Check the hits. Just check the hits.
Then while you checking the hits, check how different each record sounds.
Facts. They influence the sound.
Influence
the sound today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
and,
let's we ain't gonna get into that, but
but what I will say is that when people are going through and they're naming off like these producers, lead name needs to be mentioned in
without question.
with the greats, in my
Without
opinion.
question.
Like, he has produced some of the most and his sound alone is so diverse.
He produced for everybody. Like, he
Everybody.
produced for, like, freaking everybody from Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Rick Ross.
Everybody.
Even now, like, he just got a record with Tiger. He co-produced the Touchin record,
Right.
with me. Like, shout out to Honey Baby. Busta stamped it the other day. So shout out to him. But he co-produced the Touchin record. Like, and that radio, that joint's going crazy on the radio right now. So I was just like, bro, like, he's really influenced. I would say he's had the biggest influence on my career personally.
Oh, so for sure.
I wanted to give him his flowers before we move on.
He definitely deserves that. Here's your flowers, Lee.
Yes.
Matter of fact, we don't have to get you.
We gonna get. I'm gonna make that connection, man. So don't worry about it. I got you. Yeah. Lee don't like to come out. Lee don't like to pop out the house.
I figure he don't.
He don't. He not. I say, bro. I'm gonna get him to pop out the crib.
Look, tell him it's nice around here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's nice around here. It's okay. We're doing all right over here.
I still don't know exactly where he at. So
yeah, yo, I probably need to get him and his brother, man. But
oh yeah, for sure.
Nah, man. Shout out
to him. Shout out to Lee, man. Shout out to Lee, man.
I'm glad. Matter of fact, this is gonna be one of those spots where I'm gonna make a clip for this. Just to give
for sure.
Oh man, so look, so when you like are going through making music, what is like your why? Like, what makes you do it every day and just say, like, I'm not gonna stop? Like, even when you may be feeling like, a little shaky about it, what makes you keep going?
Honestly, number one is a God-given talent. I think if God gives you a gift, I think it's your responsibility to continue to nurture that gift, get better, right? Because if you don't use the gift or you're irresponsible, you're getting taken away, plain and simple. So that's number one. Number two, opportunity, doing this has unlocked many opportunities for me that beyond my wildest dreams. Like, I'm able to travel and, travel. I traveled so much doing this, the past 6 years. I traveled so much, going to LA, from LA, of course everybody go to Atlanta, but Miami, going to Phoenix. I've been to Arizona.
Right.
Make it beat like Arizona. Like, that's
music.
crazy.
Right.
To make music. And then Vegas, last travel, I think I went to Vegas, and Vegas was a vibe. So I was able to meet a lot of talented people. Also, able to get in the room and create with some of the best, with some artists and some of y'all's favorite artists. I think the last artist I was in working with most talented artist so far was Chloe Bailey. That child can sing. I ain't gonna hold you, but I was able to meet so many people, so many, just opportunities. And then also it's just the love for it. I this is something I love doing. If I wasn't where I was at, I'll still do it because it's therapeutic, right?
Right.
So
Yep.
I think it's a great outlet especially for us men. Something, something good to do. You doing something that's that's something structured. You know what I'm saying? You doing something that's good and it's therapeutic. So
Yeah, and you really spoke to something that's specifically therapeutic, you know what I'm saying? And especially as men, you know what I'm saying, being able to have that outlet
yes,
to release, cuz we as men, we don't really talk much. And as producers, we really don't even talk much.
We don't.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't. You're
and
right about that. Exactly.
so it's like it's almost like you said, a therapy for us to be able to kind of release the energy that we may have pinned up, and now I'm all for like, therapy and all that good
Yeah,
stuff and
absolutely,
mental
absolutely,
health and all that,
absolutely.
but
Take care of yourselves.
I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
ultimately, this and what I always tell people, especially when, when I'm asked why do I keep doing it? I do it again because it's been a therapy session for me. It's been there through the highs, the
Lows,
lows, you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it's always been a consistent, part of who I am
yeah,
as far
yeah.
as like being able to kind of navigate those peaks and valleys. So I again I agree, and I think it's good that you even mention that as
Yeah.
far as it being like a therapeutic experience for you to
Mhm.
kind of help you as you navigate the world that we live
Oh,
in
yeah.
as men, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
absolutely.
like I'm sure, and shout out to all my female producers out there. I'm sure y'all, it's a
Oh,
therapeutic
it's a therapeutic,
aspect
yeah,
for
for them
y'all.
too, yeah, for
But
sure.
I just think for us as men, it's like we really just tend to kind of be into ourselves, and are
Mhm.
we might not have the words to express our how we're feeling, you know what I'm
Right, you
saying?
can
So but
express it through the music,
you
express it
express
through
it
the
through the
computer,
music,
so
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
always a great. I'm an avid for that, say anything that gives you that outlet
Yep.
to, continue to do it, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's what's being a creative is all about, If you sometimes creating, you may not have the words, but you may have through your fingers or special, like I said, through a God-given talent,
Mhm.
So that's why we have those gifts. Is
And you're right, don't waste the gift,
never
like,
waste the gift because
you know what I'm
somebody he can give it to somebody else.
for sure, for
Yeah, that's
sure,
one
for
thing
sure.
about it. So yeah.
So, I guess when you think about as you're, creating these projects and working on different projects, with artists and, you produce I know you produce whole records,
Mhm.
whole projects for artists. What would you say has been your most challenging project
Ha!
that you've worked on and trying
Oh
to pull
man,
together a project?
that's a very good question. Most challenging. Let me think real quick. Something that's out right now. I don't want to talk about that because that's still in the weeds. But um, I wouldn't say I had a big challenge for a specific project because I haven't had that. I think it's more so of so I would say because I did a whole project with Gallo.
Mhm.
I think two. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did two whole projects. We did the I think the gallery and we did the Vantage Points. The Vantage Points was just fun. We was just
Yeah.
coming in and yo, I had some new joints, so then boom, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So that was fun. That was really fun putting it together and the content. But I would say the challenge is not is the challenge for me was not getting was not the project itself. It was more so getting on the project.
Mm.
Um I that's where the real challenge is at
Right.
because you're out here, you may have people say, "Hey, yo, send me some beats for this artist or
Mhm.
whatnot," right? Well, what is this artist looking for? I don't know. Just send something over. That doesn't help me.
Hate that.
That's my biggest pet peeve.
Hate
Like
it.
sending beats to certain artists is harder than some because some may say, "Hey, could you send beats for such and such?" She wants straight hard rap. She just want to get her bars off, and we do just that. Me and my brother YB will cook up a whole 10, probably 8 to 10 pack and send it
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
Source.
Right.
And Source be like, "Nah, man, she looking for something else."
What?
Bruh,
Well, give me
what?
some more information.
Bruh, what?
Oh
She
my.
she looking not she ain't no rap no more. She wanna do pop. She wanna
Oh
do
nah.
dance. So I mean, and it's like so it's more so sending beats to artists and gauging not only what because I always, whenever somebody asks me to send beats for an artist, my first question is like, okay, what are they on?
Yeah.
Like, what type of vibe they're on?
Right.
What are they going
Right.
for?
Right.
What's the direction?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's the
yes,
biggest challenge for me.
Yes.
If I'm not in the room with that artist,
Yeah.
it's a bigger challenge. Now, I would say I had a chance to play beats for artists.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in New York. Last time I was in New York, I was working with my dog Neek Bucks. Shout out to Neek. I was able to play him beats, and that was easy. I can gauge off this vibe.
Right.
Or comparison to when I was still in New York. Shout out to Billy. We went to we pulled up on Lola Brooke, and I was able to play like 20-something beats. She like took half the beats. But it was more so because Billy like, yo, looking for maybe R&B type records or something like that.
Right.
And I sprinkled in some joints that, that definitely I felt like that fit her.
Right.
So once I got in the room, I was able to gauge the room and make a few audibles. I said, I'm not gonna play this, I'll play that instead.
Right. Right.
So me being in the room with the artist is like a done deal.
Way
it's
easy.
way much more. It's way much more than just sending beats and sending packs. Although I still do that. That's a bigger challenge. Now with Hit, I just send him pack.
Right.
I just send him pack. Here you go. He hit me for send some beats. I just send him beats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know who's gonna be. I don't know who the writer's gonna be in there.
Right.
I just send him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether it be Ace or Ivory or Goldie, I just send him to him. I was just like, okay,
Right.
but it's really hard. But that honestly, for me personally, that's the challenging part, is just trying to send beats to artists for a project. So,
yeah, it's like that is probably like I mean, I'm notorious for just being like, yo, people hit me up like, yo, send me a pack, and I'm just like, yo, come to the studio.
Yeah, what you or what you all right, so what you looking for?
Yeah.
Or just send me some dope just. That does not help. That is a pet peeve. I will not send you anything.
Artie be like, yo, just send me some throwaway joints. I will first of all.
Oh my God,
I don't got no throwaway joints.
Delete my number.
Yeah, delete my number.
Don't ever, if you're an artist out here and you want to work with me and you ask me to see you some throwaways, delete my number.
Delete my number.
Don't follow me on Instagram. I will block you on Instagram.
Nothing.
You ever ask me on that? I'm looking in the camera.
That's like the setup. Like that's like the setup for them. Like you already know, like one, they not trying to pay for it because they already asking for you for some throwaway beats. Like so, you clearly are not trying to.
Brad is speaking right now.
You're not trying to break bread. So
man.
it's like, okay, you just want to throw away joints. I don't have. First of all, all my babies are my babies.
All my babies, man.
You know what I'm saying? They my babies. So it's like, don't ask me for no throwaway.
The prices don't change, man.
Exactly.
Like. Listen, man, that's something. Listen, he just spoke on something like, cause
it's real, yo.
Niggas expect discounts, man. Listen, anything with my tag on it, like, ain't coming with no discount. Don't call. Listen, Brand ain't lying right now.
It ain't that. So it's like, yo, and then, so it's like the whole idea of like, sending beats, and then like, when they hit you back, like you said, they be like, nah, this, this wasn't what I was looking for.
Or do you have something like this person or something?
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't ask me. Yo, I've had
don't
that.
Ask me. Don't ask me to send you beats and then you ask, do you have something like this song? Like this, don't do that.
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
Don't do that.
If you reaching out to me, I assume that you have listened to my music and you know what I'm capable of doing. So therefore, if you ask me to do something that sounds like another producer, that's the quickest way for me to ghost you. Like
that's facts,
like,
bro. That's facts.
Like I'm a definitely just be like, you don't want my sound.
I don't mind being inspired.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but don't I just don't. I hate that, especially especially if there's no budget involved. No, then I'm not gonna get into the business today.
Yeah,
it's
but for real, let's get into the business. Like, yo, because for real, yo, when artists hit me up, artists. That's gonna be either my first or second question. It's gonna be, what's your budget? Have your budget figured out.
Talk.
Like,
talk.
Don't come to my.
I'm sorry, yelling.
No, you're fine. Do not hit my jack asking for production and you don't have a budget.
Talk, man.
You know what I'm
Talk.
saying?
Yes.
In mind. So already have your budget figured out. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Don't be, playing or expecting that, it's gonna be a lot of haggling. Cause once I give you my number, cause I don't mind giving my number out, like, yo,
I don't either.
you know what I'm saying? This is what it costs for a beat from me, and I'm gonna give you the number. Like, I'm not gonna give you the homie number. I'm gonna give you the number, and then we gonna talk about that. And then you're gonna be like, looking at me like, dang, this is what it costs. I'm gonna be like, yes, this is what it costs.
That's the business.
Because I'm very serious about the art, and I really feel like producers need to be out here ensuring that they get, fairly paid for their art.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Get paid for your work. Absolutely. My thing is about that, right? I'm absolutely 1,000% with you, right? Now, for me personally, if there are independent artists out here, I try to work within their budget.
Absolutely.
I don't go crazy.
Yeah.
But, I work within their budget. I try to gauge, okay, so what are you looking like budget wise?
Right.
Boom, this all I got. I said, all right,
okay, we can talk about
it, right?
Let's talk.
Usually, and then I won't have to get my lawyer involved.
Right.
I don't like. I generally, if it's out here, I generally don't like to get my lawyer involved.
Right.
But labels, we will have to go back and forth with managers. See, that's a different ball game, right?
Okay.
Now I get my lawyer. Shout out to Jamal Castaigne, man.
Okay.
I usually get my lawyer. So, usually, my lawyer will let me know the budget, how much the label is trying to spend.
Right.
He'll let me know, well, the label ain't trying to do as much, or the label's willing to put some money behind a record. So that's how I know how to throw a number out there, right? Or sometimes they give us a number, and sometimes I like, yep, let's do it. Or sometimes I'll laugh and I say, they out there rabbit ass mine, right? So, so usually, it honestly, it's the same thing with labels also. It depends on how much they're willing to spend on the record, right? Because you got to understand, that's why I say getting singles is more profitable, right? Because the labels are, number one, if it's a lead single for an artist's album, they'll pay for it, not only to for the production and everything, but they pay to get it on radio and promo and all of that.
Right.
And then it's not as many people as comparison on an album. You get paying all the other producers in there too. Your budget is based on everybody else's too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why getting singles is very, very important. So the Touchin single has been doing great. So we going back to the table for the remix. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that's another thing. So, but usually labels will let us know, will let my lawyer know, hey, how much they willing to put down, how much they're willing to pay, and then it's really up to me. Maybe I'll talk to Billy and see Billy, talk to them, see if we can get more, or see if we can get 5 instead of 40. They offering 45. Well, shit, let's try to get 5 for it, then, damn it. You know what I'm saying? So, we the thing with labels, like, I will rather work with independent artists. I'm more flexible with them. Labels, I'm not flexible with them at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand this too about labels. They pay net, it's net 32. So once I send the invoice, everything gets signed, it's net 30. So you may not get paid immediately. You probably you may get paid that 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing about it. So I say all of that to say this, right? Producers, know your worth. Right. Number one, know your worth. But mainly understand the business. Understand the business, how the business works, right? Understand your front end, understand your back end, understand your points, right? Understand your percentages, right? Understand your publishing, right? Your publishing is always going to be your back end, your PROs and whatnot, right? Understand that. That's very, very important. If you want to start getting royalty checks for the rest of your life, I understand also that you need to make sure that that record is able to recoup that front end money that they paid you. Now, it may be not to 2-3 years until you start seeing those royalty checks also.
Right.
That's just the game. And number 3, make sure you have a good team around you. And I'm blessed. I'm super blessed that I have a good team around me. We've been going strong for the last couple years now. Jamal
Okay.
Castain. How I met my lawyer? I met my lawyer through Lee.
Shout out
So make sure you have a good team around you. Network. Somebody that understands that and that's when you really want to take your production to the next level into the game, because if you don't know what you're doing, the dead will jerk you. I'm so serious.
Thank you. Like, these are the gems. These are the gems. Like, and this is why, one of the reasons why I definitely had you in, because I know that you have that exposure to that layer of the music production game.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know, like, what you can provide in this interview is just an immense amount of gems, you know what I'm saying, that I'm grateful for.
Yeah, man. Understand this, man. I will say this, and I'll just say from an industry perspective, it's 10% creative, it's 90% business and politics. That's what it is. And one thing about it is that, yeah, you're gonna have fun creating, and there's ways to create, but you gotta understand it's the business first, right? And you gotta make sure you have your feelings out of it too. You can't take nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in rooms where people will next all your beats, will go through all your beats and not pick any of them. You can't take it personal. It's just not your time. It's just not the time. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta understand, go back to the drawing board, get better, come back better, and be ready. That's all it is. I think once you understand that, I think it'll make everything easier. You know what I'm saying? So, and I learned that from the jump.
Right.
So I'll bless to understand that from the jump.
That's
so,
dope
yeah.
gems, dope gems.
Absolutely.
So, another question, man. So you've produced a lot of beats and you've placed a lot of records. Do you have a favorite?
I like that question. I would say, dang. So at first, right, my favorite record was the Tink FMB record. Off it was off the Heat of the Moment project I did back in 2021. It was my first time working with her. She was going crazy. I think she just signed with Empire at the time. And that record came, like how I explained earlier, that record came together beautifully. But now, shoot. And then it was the Wale record I did, Caramel. I did that when I was in LA in 2019 for BET Week. I remember doing it. I was at Chris Scala's house. I was staying with Chris Scala when I did. I just woke up and cooked because we did a crazy studio session at Atlantic Compound. I was feeling inspired, so I just woke up and cooked that beat up. I gotta find that clip. Do I have it? I gotta find that clip. I hope I have it, but I would say that one. But right now would have to be the Touchin record.
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the most creative records I did. It started off that record actually started off with Conversation. Initially, that record was supposed to be for Hitmaka and Jim Jones.
Oh wow.
They was working on a joint album, and Hit called me. He was like, "Yo, I need a record, like a club record, you know, on some Swiss type stuff, vocal and stuff." I say, "I bet," you know. So I got home. I was headed to the car wash off Laburnum. I was just like, "All right, boom." So I thought to myself, I said, "What if I made an R&B type rap record to the Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See?" So I went back home. I actually found the original sample.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to sample the actual master from the actual record from Busta. No, I went back to the crates and found the sample.
Right.
So as soon as I knew I could manipulate that sample the way I wanted, dun 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 dun, I could manipulate it the way I wanted. That's where everything started to flow. I just started creating, and it was just flowing right. So I was like, all right, well, let me hit lead, send it to lead, and see what he can add to it.
Right.
And then it just took it over the top. I was so excited when I sent in the Bird, and Bird was like, bro, we can't use the sample though, man. But that sample, like we can't have the sample, which I understood from a business perspective.
Right.
They didn't want to deal with, and they had a whole bunch of other samples on the project.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. I understood
Right.
that. I sent it to Billy. And Billy was like, yo, who got this beat? Yo, put that on hold. We got a new artist that just signed with Atlantic. Honey Baby, she just signed with Atlantic. I was like, oh, sure. Okay.
Bet.
So, yeah, that's exactly what I said. So the record comes out. I did that record back in November 22. The record ends up coming out in April of last year. Same week the NLE Chopper record came out. And the record just started going crazy.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Ma. I was like, yo, that record is getting mad. The record started getting mad. They was showing her mad love in New York. Like Funk Flex was spinning it. Drewski was spinning it. DJ Self was spinning it in New York. They started promoting it in the clubs. Now, understand she had a label behind her.
Right.
But it was like one of those things. It was like a low risk, high reward type of thing.
Right.
And next thing you know, the record started getting more spins throughout the summer. Honey starts going on tour with Sexy Red.
That's a summer record too. Right?
It is. It really is. And she started going on tour with Sexy Red towards the end of last year. And the records the plays went up to like from 400 to 500 plays a week.
Right.
And Lee texted me, was like, yo, that's ultra rare that a record is out for that long and the place is going up. That's not common.
Right.
When Lee says that's really good. Lee texted me, he's like, that's not common.
Right.
So I was like, it was to the point where I was able to speak with I was actually in the dealership looking for a new car, and I was talking with K-Mac. That's our manager. Shout out to K-Mac. And no, let me backtrack for a second. So Joe Button started playing it on his podcast.
I saw that. Yeah.
And he was like, yo, and he played it again for one of his favorite records of 2023. That was one of his favorite records. And he kept spinning it. So I remember I was at the dealership. I was in the dealership, and it was to the point where K-Mac was on the phone with Success. Shout out to Success. Success is the VP of Atlantic Records.
Okay.
And it was just giving me the spill. He said, yo, the record's doing real, real good. We're going to keep pushing it. I'm going to do a remix to it and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it was just giving me props on it. So I was...
They going to get bust on that? It was one of the...
Huh?
They going to get bust on that remix?
They should. When I see Bus, but when I see Honey with Bus, I thought number one, I thought it was extremely dope.
Yeah,
for her,
yeah.
And number two, just stamp it for him rock with it be like, with OGs in there dancing to you to a flip that he did to your song.
Right.
That's like to me the ultimate sign of respect.
Right.
To me, because that was you gotta understand how big that record was at that time. I was in the first grade when that record came out.
Bro, that record was everything.
That record was a big record.
Video was
everything. And so for him to like really rock, embrace it, embrace her, embrace the record, and rock with it, like meant the world. So that's why I had to put that. I had to put that on my feet because I said, bro, when the OG approves. Oh yeah, it's out of here. So that I would say right now is that for sure.
Yeah,
that for sure. From the process.
Rightfully so. I'm not even surprised that you said that. I was actually kind of thinking that would be the one.
It was.
Yeah, that was one. And then just the life that it's been getting, since it's dropped, and it's continuing to catch more legs and continue to live more and more and more.
That's the scary part. Right. And I think the biggest thing for me, right, and this is another thing for producers. This is what a new artist. Breaking in new artists right now it's a great look. Not only for you with the labels, for other labels also that may want to help, because you want to breaking in a lot of artists is artists helping out with artist development. To me is a lost art right now.
It is.
It really is. So the fact that I was able to help break in a new artist, right, and help with her development, you know what I'm saying, from afar was the success. Because I want to show that I could get records with the big fish, but I want to also show labels and show not only labels but folks that I could definitely grow with
Mhm.
an up and coming artist also. So I thought that was one of the biggest success I could definitely attribute to. So
Right.
I thought that whole process was
Now,
fire.
are you like, I guess, in these scenarios to where like, like with Honey Baby, like, are you able to like build a relationship with her directly, or
Oh, for sure.
is it like she like, shit, you created this record, yo.
For
What else
sure,
you got
for
in the
sure, for
tank?
sure. Yeah, so for sure, yeah, absolutely. That's already happened. Actually, she had a show. Sexy Red had a show in Norfolk. This past November, Honey Baby was opening for her, so I pulled up on her. K-Mac. I think I met her in person for the first time. Her personality she is something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
her personality is she's really what she or is also
Portrays like,
portrayed. She's
yeah.
really that person. So, we definitely, we were just, we had the chance to chop it up,
Right.
and going forward. So, we did some other records. I think K Mac told me we did me and Hit and did one. We we did another record produced by myself and Hitmaker. Um, yeah, I continue to shoot out
Right.
ideas. K Mac hits my line and yo, you think you can send something over like this or something like that
Right.
to help
Right. Right.
shoot an idea over and we'll work back and forth.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
of
Yeah.
course,
Building
we're
those
forever locked.
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah,
Building relationships.
we're forever locked,
Oh,
like for
super dope.
sure.
Super dope.
Super dope. I think she's for sure a star in the making.
Right.
Like for sure.
Okay.
I believe it.
Super dope. Super dope. So, considering the artists that you've worked with thus far, um, I guess what's next? What other artists do you have on your like dream list or bucket list of artists that you would like to work with? You know,
I would call it dream because everything is like
attainable.
attainable now.
Right.
I think it's very attainable. I don't want to say it because I'm still pissed about it. Of course, Chris Brown, since he's from VA.
Yes. Yeah.
I was close from 11-11. I was super.
Mm,
I felt like I was close, but well, you know how that works out. So I'm not going to even
right. Right.
speak on that. But
Right.
especially for sure, Chris Brown. Who else? Drake.
Hmm.
Drake is definitely one of the ones. J. Cole. Um, who else? Uh, who else? That's all I could think of off the top.
Right.
Every time somebody asks me that question, I mean, yeah, those three. Of course, those three's gonna come up, but and then I have more artists I want to work with that I didn't even
Right.
mention yet. You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So, Jeremiah, I think Jeremiah's dope. I had the opportunity to work with him back in 2021. He's really dope. Very dope songwriter. He's funny as hell. That nigga funny as shit. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I think he's dope. Who else? Um, and just whoever want to work with me too.
Right.
Whoever rocks with me.
And that's a
So
big thing right there. Like
yeah.
whoever wants to work with you, because I think, a lot of the times those are the best records that end up coming out. Like are the ones who really
Yes. Yes. I agree.
study your sound and they want you for what what they've heard. Because, it's different when people come to you and it's like, oh, you're submitting beats to them versus them coming to you, because it's like that they're already familiar, and it's
Yeah.
like, and especially if you have a mutual respect, what I'm saying, for them
Yes.
already, it's like,
Yes.
yo,
Yes.
damn, like, you
It
fuck with like my music,
it
yeah, let's
it
get.
makes it makes it it makes it more easier,
Yeah, way more
it
easier.
makes it makes that whole process easier,
Mm-hmm.
because like one thing about it, it's one thing you have to deal with the personalities, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You gonna have to be you gonna be around a lot of different personalities, so you already know how this person is coming at you because they want to work with you and they
Right.
rocking with your
Right.
sound.
Right.
Obviously, they studied and
Yes.
heard your sound too.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
studied the music that you produce. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? I think, yeah, we're producers, us as producers, especially being in the industry, we're in a results oriented business also, right?
Right.
Numbers tell all.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And
yes.
I'm pretty sure labels want to pair artists with producers up. Hey, you guys work together. You create a hit. We'll be outside.
Right, right.
But there's artists that really wants to work with producers because they legit think they're they're dope,
Yeah.
and they'll get the sound that they're looking for.
Yep.
But I've been placed in situations where, hey guys, this is this songwriter right here.
Mhm.
Hey, songwriter, these guys make beats,
Right.
make beats.
Make
All
a
right, we'll be
song.
outside.
Figure it out.
Man. What's up, bro? Yeah,
Right, yeah, now
I mean, don't
now
get me
you
wrong.
tryna-
It'd be dope because
Right.
I've met some dope songwriters.
Right, right.
Absolutely dope songwriters. So,
Right.
yeah. So it was, yeah. That'd be the best one.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I guess what are some? I mean, you've given so much advice, I would say, throughout this, but I just want to make sure that I do give you a moment to say, like, to a starting, our budding producer, a
Mhm.
new producer.
Yeah.
What would be some of your advice that you would give to them to help them along their journey?
Biggest thing is stick with it.
Mhm.
You're not going to be as good as you think you are. Stick with it. Continue to find your sound, develop your sound, but most importantly, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was up and coming, when I felt like I was stuck, I just stayed in the house while everybody was out going partying and doing what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I stayed in the house and worked on my craft and worked on my sound and try to get in and try to and work to get better.
Right.
So, but as much as I have a lot of stories and a lot of artists I've worked with, the opportunities that I have now, I
Mhm.
had to work for it.
Right.
I
Right.
put this is years of work,
Right.
just for me to get to this point, even just to get on this platform for you to call me,
Right.
for to get the
Right.
call and
Right.
come out
Right.
here.
Right.
So put in the work. You have to, like, if you don't get anything else from this conversation, you have to put in the work. That's how you get better. So that's my advice for starting button producer, because there ain't no handouts here.
That's
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? There's no such thing as handouts. So you got to put in the work, keep working, keep getting better.
That's
So
a fact. That's
mhm.
a fact. So, any upcoming, projects, releases that that you are able to speak on, rather, you know what I'm saying?
I say I can't speak on it right now. Some I really can't speak on right now.
Mhm.
I gotta keep on low key right now. I will say this. I will be having some camps. I know this is coming out in March. I can't really promote it 'cause it's gonna be in February, but I will be having. But I'll try to
No,
have
let
some
them
more.
know. Let them know you be
Well,
having the
I'll try to
camps.
have some more camps throughout the year, especially in the summer. I know I'll be having a camp in February, the end of February, but I'll for sure be having some in the summer. Get Richmond, more Richmond producers out here together, and whatnot. Get some more talent out here and bring them together and whatnot. Showcase that. So, I can't really speak on the projects, but I will say this: I will be working on my website up this year. That's something, and more merch. So, I that's what I can tell you what I'm really working on too. So, that's pretty much it though. That's pretty much it. You see me out, I'll probably be outside. If I'm not outside the house in the crib working, I'm probably on a plane on the way to Miami, LA, or Atlanta. I don't Probably not Atlanta, but yeah. I'm not going back. I went back. I went to Atlanta last year and it was miserable.
Dang.
I got sick at the hotel, man,
Oh,
and
man.
I had suspended artichoke dip, and then my stomach. Oh,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, for like a week and a half, my stomach was crazy.
Well, look, man, hopefully next time Atlanta will treat you way better.
I'm not going there unless I get a call to go down there,
I
or
dig
it's the
that.
real reason. But
Yeah, I feel you.
Miami, yeah, for sure. But yeah, but that's what I
Miami.
got going on. I really, like I said, I can't speak on what I have coming up, but
Mhm.
but definitely, but best believe there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes.
Love
So
it. Love it.
yeah.
So last and final question. One fun slash interesting fact about yourself. Can be anything.
Um, one fact interesting about me. What is it? Oh, wow, I'm I think I'm stuck on that one. Okay. I can I thought about being a songwriter, like a songwriter. I have a little vocal range. I can
Okay.
sing on the low.
On the low and the
I
high.
petri petrified.
Yeah.
Petrified. Don't ask me to sing. I'll say hell no. That's the one fun fact about me. So I would
Have
say,
you ever considered sync licensing?
yeah, I consider sing licensing. Of course, I'm not gonna turn that money down. Hell, I'm getting emails on sync licensing right now.
Mm-hmm. No, because I asked that because you know, most people, a lot of people who are into sync licensing, they say like the really the best way to get your song placed is to be able to write your own songs and sing them. You know what I'm saying? So if you can sing your ideas, you know what I'm saying, you have a better chance of getting a place. Because it's one thing to submit a
Yeah,
beat for a sync licensing, but if you
yeah,
can submit a whole song for a sync licensing,
yeah.
then
Because the business around you have
yeah,
to pay multiple
you
people
exactly.
and
You don't
all
have to
that
get.
stuff. I would say this: I have gotten placed on my vocals,
Oh yeah.
but it's more in a rap context. So I
Okay.
just
Okay.
did
Okay.
I just did a project just came out with Famous Ocean and Kung Fu. I think is WGFU. Shout out to Interscope, shout out to Hitmaker, shout out to homie Geo. I actually did it on a record. I said, "Real girl, get down on the floor, on the
Mhm.
floor.
Mhm.
Real girl, get down on the floor." So I actually sang that
Mhm.
on an iPhone memo
Right.
because I was just working on like let me just sing kind of stuff like that,
Mhm.
and then we just top it up and cook a beat behind it.
Right.
So I did that, sent it to my little bro AYB. YB added some drums on that joint,
Mhm.
and that ended up being a record. So I would say that was that I can honestly say that's my very first placement
Mhm.
that I got solely
With
on
your
my
vocals.
vocals. So
Fire.
yeah, but I wasn't singing, but I was just real
Get
girl
you a
get.
mic, man. Get you a mic at
Yeah,
the
that was
crib.
fire. I felt like honestly that was probably so far I would say that was probably the coolest one because I never because I that's the first time ever my vocals is on going to be on a record in
Yo, you
any
should.
type of
You
capacity.
got a mic at your studio?
I don't, but I plan on buying one.
Get you
So
one, yo.
I will
Get
do
you one.
that.
Cause I
So
guarantee you, you're gonna have it's gonna be a night you in the studio. Something gonna hit you. You gonna create something,
oh yeah, yeah.
and you're gonna be like, "Yo, let me just go ahead and just like put down what because I do it. I do it occasionally. It's
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah,
now
yeah,
and
yeah,
then.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
now and then, it's like, oh man, I already know what I would want to hear on this, and I'll just fire up the mic, go ahead and lay that joint down. It might not ever touch the day of light. Nobody might not ever hear it, but it's like at least it's like I get to hear it and see what it would sound like. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
But I would recommend for sure, like, yo, get you a mic, yo.
One more story time. I'm done.
Yeah.
I remember vocal samples. Right,
Mhm.
a lot of guys have done that. I know my man my dog Jonathan has done vocal samples, but one guy in particular was doing a lot of vocal samples before he got on. Um, I worked with him for a little bit. Friday, he was sending out. He started out sending out a lot of hella vocal samples.
Mhm.
The He sent out like a crazy vocal sample back in the day. Now look where he's at. But he sings his own lines like, "Ooh," like
Mhm.
I said, bro, you was fire. Like I
Mhm.
remember I texted him back all emojis, and I used to cook up to his vocal samples. But that's what a lot of guys are doing right now,
Mm.
vocal samples. So I want to get. I'm like I said, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
I think I'm nervous.
I mean,
The
well,
sound.
I guess another question, have you ever thought about getting into creating like sample packs, especially with you as a drummer.
I actually have done one. The less is more sample pack is out right
Okay,
now.
go get that.
Go get that. Shout out to Beat Bakery Loops.
Okay.
Because he helped me. He helped me really curate that also. But I actually had this thought the other day too. Was doing some like a backbeat type of pack, just various live drum loops, right? I think I found a Space Bomb Studios. It's right off of it's in the PBR. It's around PBR. It's right off Cary, in I forgot that street name, but he has where you can record live drums. So I thought about. I said, you know what? Let me go. I may book some time and just like come in and just play some drum beats because, like I said, I'm getting into the chopping and whatnot. So I want to try to like maybe incorporate some live drums,
Right. Yeah.
my own live drums on there, and maybe sell it as a pack. That would be fire.
That would be fire. Send them over here.
Oh, you already know. I got you. Say less.
You need somebody to test some joints out.
Chop them up. Do your thing. Do your thing. So I'm really thinking about entailing on that project this year. So be on the lookout.
All right,
that's a good question.
Well, look, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Honor, humble, man. Thank you so much, man.
This has been another just dope episode of the Producer Lounge podcast. I'm glad I was able to get you in here.
I'm glad to be here, man.
Bro, listen, so just know, you know where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? You know where I'm at.
Very nice. Very nice.
Feel free to, pull up, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We can get some work in.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to pull up on your new spot because you got the
penthouse.
You do.
You do.
I'm
gonna for sure have some work for you. Too,
yeah,
so
man.
Don't even worry about it. We cook up. I'm gonna have some work. So say less. I know we had that conversation last time. So I'm gonna for sure have some work for you.
Well, look, man, I'm excited about it, and I'm definitely just looking forward just to seeing what you do in the future and all these projects that you have, and definitely looking forward to working with you in the future, man. So listen, to everybody out there, thank y'all. If y'all got into this part of the interview, I want to say thank you for sticking with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Comment, and make sure you follow Ill Maestro. Follow the Producers Lounge. Pull up every Thursday at 7 o'clock where we vibe out on Instagram. So make sure y'all follow us. And again, until next time, y'all. Love is love.
Love is love.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
We out.